All right, friends, it's T and I'm back with a new video. Gregdoucette has made a brand new video for us to react to. The gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slave himself, Gregdoucette. So Gregdoucette says, Tristyn Lee and Mike Isreatel make the editor go crazy. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a cool look. It's the illusion of the carbs in the water in the muscle, and the fat. It's there. It's just you don't see it, and it's just 40 pounds more muscle. I'm Tristyn Lee natural. There's no way people believe this.
All right, let's see if we believe it or not. 40 pounds of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Okay, so these are trained people coming in. Myofibrillar hypertrophy, muscle fiber hypertrophy in response to 6 weeks of high volume resistance training in trained young men is largely attributed to sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. So we know there is such a thing. So what is this stuff that's in there? Let's see what it says here at the bottom. Oh, we sought to explore how actin, myosin, sarcoplasmic protein, mitochondrial, and glycogen concentrations were altered in individuals that exhibited mean skeletal muscle fiber cross-sectional area. Oh, so glycogen, there you go. What is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? Glycogen in the muscle, that's what it is. Well, let's find out. Let's see what AI has to say. It's taking a little bit longer than usual. I don't know why. Yes, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is the process of increasing the amount of glycogen store in a muscle. Sarcoplasm is the fluid that surrounds muscle fibers that contains glycogen water, and it can retain a lot of it in there, believe me. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, a type of muscle growth, increases the volume of the sarcoplasm. This fluid surrounds the muscle fibers, yada, 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 and yada, 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 and yada, yada. Okay, there you go. It hypertrophies it. Sarcoplasm. It occurs increasing the volume of the liquid substance inside the muscle cells, also called sarcoplasm. It develops the glycogen stores responsible for sending energy to muscles, and yada, 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 yada. All right, well, there you go. And it can grow exponentially massive. So Greg is a liar. I just proved him wrong. Next.
Coach Greg, in today's video, Mike Isreatel is going to lie and pretend that Tristyn Lee is 100% natural. And
I never said he's natural or he's not natural. He may actually be natural because he was on carnivore diet. And he was really flat. He wasn't growing any muscle because I told you before, only eccentrics grow muscle. And he does concentric training. So concentric plus on carnivore diet, you're going to see zero growth, zero things going on there. And you're adapted to these weights. Get it, your exercises. There's so many things working against you. So if you're really truly asking me whether he's on drugs or not, honestly, he's young. Testosterone is high. He was a teenager still lifting as a teenager all the way to now. I guess he's getting into his 20s. No, bro. If you're asking me, honestly, I'm going to tell you the guy looks fucking natural. He really does look natural. It doesn't exude that he's on drugs. He really doesn't show it.
why do you think that is? Well, because Renaissance Periodization and Jared Feather are training him. And so grab your popcorn or...
Just because they're training him, he's a popular influencer. It's a YouTube channel and everything. It's just meaningless.
Are you ready?
And I'm also going to be asking some questions about his mega transformation where he gained a crap load of muscle.
See, look how small he is. How could he have been on drugs at 137 pounds? He has no chest, no shoulders, no arms, nothing. He simply is just very low body fat. And here he's puffy at 177 because he started eating carbohydrates. That's a known fact. We all know he started eating an artificial diet to blow up. And we know what happens when you do concentric exercises. When you're adapted and you eat an artificial diet called carbohydrates, your muscles are gonna, the sarcoplasm, the volume of the sarcoplasm is going to exponentially expand massively, especially a guy that hasn't been eating carbs and only meat for the fucking God knows how long. As soon as he does it, it's going to hit him 10 times more.
In a relatively short period of time, there's a method to the madness if you want to find out about the science and the insight and the seedy gossip.
And so the method to the madness, would that be him using performance-enhancing drugs? What?
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I doubt he's not doing any drugs, bro. He's not doing any drugs. I don't care what anybody says. He's too small to be doing any drugs.
Well, we immediately address the elephant.
Greg wants to say this. Greg wants to tell you it's drugs because he doesn't want any of you to progress. He doesn't want any of you to get the results that Tristyn Lee got eating carbohydrates. Because he needs to sell you his stupid GO2 Max and his fucking stupid turkesterone and his powders.
The room. Bro ain't natural. And you...
Listen, this fucking asshole would say anything to downplay anybody that's natural. You want to know why? Because he wants to fucking sell you a cookbook, dude. Circle Diet and his stupid estrogen book and his stupid powders and tablets. Come on, man. You'll have to be stupid not to see through that.
All know it. 35 pounds in 30 weeks. Scream.
Yeah, 30 weeks is a long time. What's 35 pounds is nothing. Of what? Sarcoplasmic fluid is nothing. 35 pounds of glycogen is nothing. Many people online, I've done videos, people weigh themselves. They gain a lot of weight, sarcoplasm, and then it goes away. They could gain 40 pounds, 50 pounds, and it goes away.
Gear usage at the levels of body
That does not mean that they're on gear.
fat he posts. I really hope that he isn't on gear because this video would be pure trash to go through all those questions and not talk about or at least mention that the transformation was because he is enhanced. So in layman's terms, he went on a cycle and started eating carbs again. Can't believe people give away money to the...
Put it there.
Layman's terms, he went on a cycle and started eating carbs again. Can't believe people give away money.
He didn't go on a cycle and eat carbs. He is eating carbs. But people really got to be stupid, man, out there. Come on. Fuck. You got to be dumb.
To these coaches for basically nothing. Congrats!
Again, this is for Greg Doucette to sell his turkesterons and powders to you. So he has to convince you that it's impossible to build sarcoplasmic muscle eating carbohydrates. Well, it is possible. You don't need his turkesterone and you don't need his protein powders. If you do what Tristyn Lee did and eat carbohydrates and pump your muscles concentrically, you too will get those sarcoplasmic hypertrophy muscles like I proved, okay?
On going to the dark side like everyone else in 2024 and then lying about it. A true inspiration to everyone. Isn't he open about gear use? Chances are he's...
I've done sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It's in one of my videos. You notice how fucking massive I am. I look fucking huge. My traps, my back, everything. I'm fucking massive. Legs. Sorry about that.
Isn't he open about gear use? Chances are he's been on gear for years, probably just a higher dosage now.
Oh my God. Again, what gear has he been on, bro? He had no muscles. He has no muscle.
And kilocal surplus instead of starving himself. He has been training for years. Most people can't even gain 35 pounds of lean muscle on juice. How can...
What are you talking about? He didn't gain 35 pounds of lean muscle. He gained a bunch of sarcoplasmic fluid.
Can anyone believe that he is natty? It's hilarious. So dumb. He's not juicing.
Wow, people really are dumb. They don't know anything about bodybuilding. Fuck. This is incredible. Nobody knows anything. They don't know the difference between concentric, eccentric exercises. They don't know the difference between myofibrillar hypertrophy and sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. How dumb can the fitness industry and the people that are out there be?
A lot of the bulk was muscle memory anyways. Yeah, and so...
Bulk is muscle memory? What muscle memory? He didn't have any muscles. What are you talking about? He has no muscle. He says he couldn't put on any muscle. What muscle memory? You guys, man, you people are dumb.
Muscle memory. He went from 145 pounds at his all-time heaviest.
He put on 35 pounds of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That's it. Okay, dude? Shut the fuck up.
To over 170. So where was the muscle memory? His muscles never were that big. It wasn't as if he had bulked and cut.
That's where people get confused about muscle memory. A lot of people out there doing concentric pump training, they're all adapted to their exercises. And what are they getting? Takes on a secondary shift called sarcoplasmic hypertrophy training, like in trying to train young men, like in the fucking PubMed study, bro. So I don't know what you're talking about. A lot of people, they misconstrued that for being muscle memory. When they go away, they lose the glycogen, and then they go back, eat carbs, and then they put it back again.
This never happened. The science, let's be honest, it's just straight up steroids. Tristyn Lee's science
Whatever. It's not fucking, man. It's not steroid science. What are we talking
based
about?
gear transformation.
You had a good time training. You made gains. It was fun. All that stuff.
For the first 4 years, I would say, of serious bodybuilding training, from 15 to 19, I made great.
See, Greg has banned me. I can't write anything in his comment section. That means he's on to me because I directed my videos to him. So he's on to me. His crew had me completely banned for sure because they think, well, we have to completely ban him just in case he writes in our comment section. Maybe it's banning also my videos coming towards him. He knows that I come out with the truth. I do videos on sarcoplasmic. I do videos on myofibrillar growth, eccentric, concentric lifting. So he knows. He doesn't like that. He doesn't want that because it interferes with his business. If you were to find out that you could do sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, that's what he got, then you guys would start moving for that as well.
Progress, yeah.
Excellent.
And so from 15 to 19, he made great progress. He put on about 25 pounds of muscle. It's not bad. Remember, he has
I don't know if he ever put on any muscle. He's growing. You have your natural muscle on your body, of course. He lowered his body fat, but I didn't see him really grow any muscle. He looked really flat.
newbie gains. You're going to expect he's going to gain more muscle easier
There's absolutely no such thing as newbie gains.
when he's younger. But then when he got older, he started to plateau. He was
Yeah, there he is. He was on a carnivore diet, dude. He's on a fucking meat diet. Protein, fucking high protein diet.
struggling to put on more muscle.
What happened?
He was struggling. He's struggling because he's not fucking damaging any muscle fibers. He's adapted to his exercise, you fool.
Between 19 and basically 2021.
I was extremely lean during that period, so it made it difficult to gain any size at all. And a lot of my training was maintenance, if not regression.
That's not why it's difficult to gain because you're lean. It's difficult to gain because you're adapted to your exercises. Hello? He's adapted. There's no more adaptations.
From 19 to 21, he hit the wall.
Thank you, Greg.
He didn't hit a wall. He just didn't figure out, he just didn't move for more adaptations because he doesn't know what he's doing. And neither does Mike Isreatel, and neither do you. Well, maybe you do, Greg. You're a smart asshole. You just don't want people to know because you want to sell your GO2 Max and Turkesterone in your shitty books.
Now, I argued that previously he'd actually been on steroids. Now remember, he's never admitted to steroids.
Oh, but he was previously on steroids, but then he wasn't on steroids, and then he was on steroids.
But he doesn't like to answer those questions. And so my personal opinion is Tristyn Lee previously had been on steroids and then stopped taking those steroids and then...
If he was previously on steroids, then why wasn't he fucking massive? Why wasn't he massive and fucking huge walking around? Because he wasn't on any steroids, that's why.
2 years, he couldn't make any gains. Does that not make sense? Does that not seem to...
He couldn't make any gains. Well, then, if he couldn't make any gains, that means he wasn't on steroids. If that's obviously that's kind of obvious. Greg just admitted he couldn't make any gains, so he must not have been on steroids. So here's the thing. So he started eating carbohydrates. We know he switched his diet from fucking his carnivore diet to fucking eating fucking carbohydrates. And then what? Everybody knows when you eat carbohydrates, what happens? You blow up. That's what. See what I mean? He wasn't making gains because he was adapted to his exercises.
fit the bill, if you will. He was making gains as a teenager, started to look really freaky for having what was 5% body fat for so long on a carnivore diet, but then
There you go. Even Greg admits it.
suddenly, the gains, they went away. Why do you think that is?
What was your diet like?
What gains went away? He said he wasn't making any gains. What the fuck?
I was doing carnivore for the last half of it.
What about the first half?
First half was still low carb, probably closer to like a ketogenic approach.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much no carbs.
And so remember, for the majority of Tristyn's career, he promoted the carnivore diet, keto diet, if you will. Low carbs, high fat, that's the secret to being shredded, to putting on all that muscle. But was it perhaps not the...
Putting all that what muscle? He said he He just wasn't putting on any muscle, you dumbass. You just admitted to it. Now you're saying he put on all that muscle. What's all that muscle? 10 pounds? 5 pounds is not a lot of muscle, dude.
Steroids? Could it have been performance-enhancing drugs?
I think because I was in such a routine.
10 pounds of muscle is not 5 pounds or whatever, 8 pounds or whatever he put on there. 10 pounds. If in all those years he put on 10 pounds, that's not a lot of muscle. I think you said 11 pounds. 11 pounds is not a lot of muscle, bro. That's not steroids.
I kind of just pushed it aside.
Yeah. And so it was your lack of gains that was bothering you, not your lack of perception of how you felt in the gym.
For sure.
And so he felt fine in the gym, but he was no longer making any progress. His macros at the time, 200 grams of fat, 210 grams of protein, and about 0 carbs for a total of around 2,660 calories. That was his maintenance program when he was training prior to meeting Jared Feather.
And then
Yeah, what about it?
when you and Jared started working together on your diet, what were the macros changed to?
But after meeting Jared, he switched up his diet, lowered the fat, increased the carbs. And his macros at that point, 150 grams of carbs, 170 grams of protein, and somewhere between 70 and 100 grams of fat. And the total calories to now bulk up, 1,910 to 2,180 calories. And so, hear me out. He hired Jared because he was too lean, and Jared lowered his calories by 500. He put him on a cut. But remember, Renaissance Periodization, they have the best training app in the world. They can tell you exactly what...
I know what this is now. This is an attack on Renaissance Periodization again. Greg is going after gregdoucette. They have a dispute. All right.
to eat. There's no chance you would ever compete at an IPP Pro qualifier and lose because you don't have a proper... No chance. The app, it's exquisite. It's perfect. There's no way you could ever fuck it up. And so when Tristyn Lee started working with Jared, they put him on a cut. I mean, after all, bro had 5% body fat. Why would you add in extra calories?
Did you feel anything different, or was it more later you started feeling it?
I didn't feel any massive noticeable changes. I mean, I definitely filled out from the start, and we dropped weight.
And so after doing this, what do you think transpired? Well, he dropped weight. His weight continued to go down. And
No, really?
so with Jared's brand new diet, he started losing weight. Now, he did actually fill out a little bit. Muscle glycogen stores went up because he introduced carbs into diet. And so
So Greg admits it. Muscle glycogen stores went up. The sarcoplasm increased.
he was storing more water, but his weight
No. You admitted it. It went up.
went down.
You don't need steroids to increase glycogen stores, dude.
How long did you guys start to ramp up carbs and start to
2
lower
weeks.
fats?
Pretty much right away when we noticed that my weight was dropping, he was like, let's throw them right in.
Okay.
And so after 2 weeks, he said, well, geez, you're losing weight. We need to up the calories. And so what did he do? He added in 10 grams of carbs per meal for a total of 50 grams
Yeah, more carbs.
of carbs, 200 calories per day. And so 2 weeks, he's losing weight. And he says, you know what?
It's funny. He's losing weight. He must be on steroids. I thought steroids make you gain weight, Greg, don't they? How could he be losing weight and exercising? Yeah, how would steroids do that exactly? They would never make you lose weight. I mean, Greg is such a bullshitter. See that?
I see your weight's going down. I'm such a great trainer.
Yeah. I didn't know. Steroids make your weight go down? Oh, that's what they do. They make you lose weight. Yeah, they don't make you gain weight. They make you lose weight. Yeah, uh-huh.
I know what I'll do. I'll add in 200 calories into your diet. And so remember, his baseline
Oh, yeah, okay. So what? So he added more into the diet, and what?
was 2,660. He's at somewhere around 2,100, and they put him up to 2,300.
Okay.
It's still below maintenance. And so what do you think happened
Still below who? Maintenance what? He ate a lot of carbs, they said.
after adding in 200 calories to his diet?
And how long did you sustain that for?
2 weeks again.
Okay.
And then immediately we just kept bumping until my weight was actually moving.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And how long did it take for your weight to start moving up?
2 months maybe?
And so it took 8 weeks, 2 months, before his weight started to go up.
Yeah, he wasn't eating enough carbohydrates. He was increasing it slowly to see it move up.
And so hiring this expert trainer, remember, based on Mike Isreatel, he's the smartest trainer in the entire world.
I'm both on a raw IQ scale smarter than...
Well, I don't particularly care for Mike Isreatel. I don't think he's smart at all. I think Greg is a cunning scammer. That's there's a difference there. He's kind of, Mike Isreatel is just whatever. But Greg, he's a great scammer. He can scam anybody. He's going to tell you what you want to hear, not what you should hear, which is the truth. Now, that's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. He's going to tell you it's steroids and that you can't build muscle and that you need to rely on Greg. He's got a cookbook, a circle diet, and a estrogenic cookbook and his fucking training programs. And he's got pills for you. He's got turkesterons, these like fake steroid pills or whatever they are, or real steroid pills or something. I don't know. Some legal steroid pills, GO2 Max, and a bunch of powders.
Almost every coach, maybe every coach. I haven't met a whole lot of people in the bodybuilding industry with whose raw intellect I was blown away. I'd say the smartest person I know so far in bodybuilding on raw ability to process information and derive deep meaning is Greg.
Better than, of course, Hanny Rambod, and certainly better than Coach Greg. But it took 8 weeks to realize.
Hanny Rambod, he deals with fake bodybuilders, steroid people, man. That's all.
That for Tristyn Lee to actually gain weight, he needed to be in his surplus. I think that most coaches
No, he just needed to eat carbs again. That's all. What's the big deal?
out there would have figured it out within 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks max. But no, it took them 8 weeks of slowly ramping up calories. And remember, it took 2 weeks for them to decide to add in 200 calories per day. And then 2 weeks later, another 200 calories. And it took until 8 weeks before his weight began to go up.
How are you feeling at the end of this 2-month ramp? Any different feeling-wise in the gym and everything like that?
Nothing ridiculously noticeable. My pumps were a little bit better.
And so up till
There we go. The pumps are better because he's adapted to these weights and it's concentric training. The pumps. Everybody's chasing the pumps, bro. Yeah, man. All the natural people too are getting pumped in the gym. That's what they're growing. They're growing sarcoplasmic muscles, pumping them up, pumping their ass cheeks.
that point, 8 weeks in, he said he felt a little bit more pumped in the gym. Remember, he's dramatically increasing his carbs. He has now glycogen, and he's feeling a little bit more pumped. And it took 8 weeks for his weight to stop going down. And so, how many people
Okay, and what about it? Jesus, man.
think he was on performance-enhancing drugs for those 8 weeks? Remember, his weight was going down, and he was adding in more carbs. He didn't notice anything too extreme. I believe he was natural. But what happened after week 8?
Where was your next move as far as carbs and calories?
We got up to 550 at the end per day.
And so after week 8, he's now at 550 grams of carbs. That's over 2,200 calories from carbs alone. And so now, finally, he's in a calorie surplus.
What did you weigh at the beginning of the 30 weeks? It's about 135.
So I started around 137.
And then at the end of the 30 weeks,
I believe it was 170.
And so during this 30-week process, remember, the first 8 weeks, he lost weight. He was 145, got down to 137.2. Remember, they're very specific. And at the end of it, at the end of the 30-week bulk, of which the first 8 weeks was actually a cut, don't know why they did that, he was 171 pounds. And so if you do the math, he was up 34 pounds. Now, the start of the video, it says 137 to 177, and so I don't know why they have to lie. Why are they lying about how much actual weight they actually gain?
What are they lying? They're not lying about anything, bro. He's a little bit closer in this picture. Notice his head, his size here. They put him a little bit forward. Big deal.
Hey, you put on 40 pounds. The math says it was 34. And so they're already willing to lie about how much weight he put on. And so what makes you think they're
What's the difference between 35 and 34 and 35 pounds a pound? Oh my God.
not willing to lie about the fact that he was using performance-enhancing?
How could he be using enhanced performing drugs if he never built any muscle? Christ, he wasn't building muscle. Hello. Then they put him on carbs. He's never eaten carbs before. Greg wants to sell you turkesterone.
point or
The
were you
first,
Holy shit, he really hates Isreatel, doesn't he? He really hates Mike. Greg's crazy.
few little bit, I wasn't really noticing too much. And then as I got towards like 160, we started to notice some big changes.
And so at first, I didn't really notice that big of a difference. But once I got to about 160, wow, I really could see the difference.
You know, at the start, when people talk about getting lean, I had body dysmorphia or whatever, where I didn't think I was lean enough. And then by the end of it, I had like reverse body dysmorphia, where I was like, I feel great. And I was like,
And so he says at the start, I had like body dysmorphia. I didn't feel so good. And the opposite, it was reverse body dysmorphia. I felt too great. Does that sound like somebody who was doing it 100% natural? Does that sound realistic to you? And so really put your thinking caps on here.
What is 100% natural, Greg? Man, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is artificial muscle growth. So is that natural? So if you are a lifter in the gym or whatever you're doing there, if you're making that kind of weight and your muscle grows from sarcoplasm, it's fake. So you are all fake natties then.
First 8 weeks of the program, he was losing weight. Jared was his coach. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. He was losing weight. After 8 weeks, do you think Tristyn might have thought to himself, you know what? I'm in my 20s. Maybe it's time to hop
Yeah, okay, whatever.
on. Or shall I say, to hop back on. Do you really think he would have put on suddenly, out of nowhere, more muscle in a matter of weeks than he added in the entirety of the first 6 years of his training, when newbie gains were at his peak? And remember, as he describes it, I made significant gains when I was younger. I felt the pumps, I felt good, I had great energy. Tristyn Lee has gone on record saying the carnivore diet, it worked
Is he selling commercials for drinks? What the fuck is this?
wonders for him. He loved it. Mental clarity, energy in the gym, he was playing soccer. And so are we now going to believe that simply by hiring Jared Feather, that he was able to put on more muscle in a matter of weeks than he could in his entirety of his training career?
He didn't put on muscle. You just admitted he put on some glycogen and water. You admitted to it. What are you talking about? That isn't muscle, you fool.
Well, being natural.
People will see the pictures, but you didn't really gain a ton of fat. It seemed like you gained almost pure muscle the entire time.
yeah, I mean, I did gain, I think
That isn't pure muscle. You don't gain muscle from eating carbohydrates. Carbohydrates don't build muscles. That's another thing I don't like about Isreatel and that asshole. That guy sitting next to him. Okay, those two assholes want to make you think that eating carbohydrates are going to magically build solid muscle. The carbs don't build muscle. I have news for you. I'm sorry, it doesn't build muscle. It'll build sarcoplasmic muscle, but it won't build muscle because you ate carbohydrates.
I did gain fat, and then
And so Mike Isreatel himself is saying, hey, we're looking at the pictures and it almost looks like you gained all muscle. Tristyn Lee trying to
It looks like you gained almost, I know, it looks, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy has that look. It appears like you gained all that muscle. That's the point of that's this type of bodybuilding. That type of bodybuilding, that's the point. To give the illusion that you have muscles by doing what? Sarcoplasmic training. His training is sarcoplasmic when you're adapted to your weights, doing concentric lifting.
downplay it just a little bit. Like he knows that if anyone sees him gaining 40 pounds of mostly muscle in a matter of months, they're going to think,
He didn't gain 40 pounds of muscle, bro.
guys, we know this isn't natty. And so he said, look, no, it actually was a little bit of fat. You know, I got a proper tan. Look at him. He's got a clear tan on. And so it's an illusion of muscle. Most of that muscle, probably 20 pounds of it, was just water in the muscle in the proper way. Like
There you go. He just said it. Water in the muscle, sarcoplasm, yes.
Isreatel, when he competes on stage, 19 or 20 pounds of water, is from previously having bulked up and been obese when he was younger. And so when Mike Isreatel competes,
I don't know anything about Mike Isreatel. He has issues. He takes drugs.
he's carrying a bunch of water and it looks like fat. And when Tristyn Lee bulks, he's also carrying those same 20 pounds of water, but it all goes inside of the muscle. He's just a unique
That's what sarcoplasmic hypertrophy training is about. It goes in the muscle. Where is it supposed to go? In your head? What an idiot.
snowflake, just like Mike Isreatel.
obviously filling out glycogen as well and holding on to more water from increasing
There
carbs.
you go. He's holding on to more water, eating carbs, glycogen. For every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water being drawn between the skin and muscle into the muscle. His training is pump training, concentric pump, sarcoplasmic training, like everybody else out there that's adapted to their weight training.
Sure.
But I think the fullness helped with the illusion of
This
looking
is a cool
leaner.
look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a cool look.
It's a cool look. Look, man, this is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy training. If you go to my channel, my first video, if you see me here, this is sarcoplasmic. I'll show you. Not this video. This video right here. Not these. This is not sarcoplasmic. This is natural. Right? That right there is just there's no sarcoplasmic. But this is sarcoplasmic where I come out massive. I did this for like 5 weeks of carb loading. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. There we are, right here. Not this next video. Right here, this is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. 20 pounds. I went from 240 to 260 in like working out 1 day a week, 5 weeks straight, 5 weeks, 1 day a week, and then just carb loading like crazy, potatoes every single fucking day, like just downing them like crazy. So that's what bodybuilders do. They do sarcoplasmic hypertrophy to maximize some of it when they're not getting gains and they're adapted to their exercises. You can do that to get massively big. But that doesn't make you stronger, but whatever. Let's go back to his video.
Yeah. It's just a cool look. It's the illusion of the carbs in the water in the muscle, and the fat, it's there. It's just
Yeah, it's a cool look. It makes you look massive. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy makes you look fucking massive, bro. Man, more carbs you eat, the bigger you get.
you don't see it, and it just 40 pounds more muscle. I'm Tristyn Lee, natural. There's no way people believe this.
So I think that even though there was
Why wouldn't people believe it? Because they don't know anything about bodybuilding and you don't want to explain it to them? Is that it?
fat gain, I think because I was so much more full.
Sure.
Muscles are tighter to the skin, all that different
Sure.
stuff.
And made it seem like it was more muscle.
Yeah, it just seemed like more muscle than it was. I gained 40 pounds, mostly muscle, but it just seems that way. It was actually half fat.
Yeah, I don't know what Greg's talking about. Again, he wants to sell you testosterone.
By the end of it, I was doing, I don't know, incline dumbbell presses with like 130-pound dumbbells.
Yeah, he's an
And
interesting
you started.
Yeah, you got some forced production, of course, because it's endurance, it's energy, performance, whatever. It's gonna help for sure. When you eat carbs, I noticed I got better at lifting concentrically the weights. But did it make me physically stronger? No, because I didn't build any muscle. I just built the sarcoplasm.
With how much dumbbell?
Probably like, I mean, with that technique, probably like during the other, we did 50.
And so what about his strength? I mean, that's how much muscle he put on. What about his strength? Well, with the same technique, he went from the 50s on dumbbells, 50-pound dumbbells,
Yeah.
to 130s. And so no big deal. Several months later, he's more than
He didn't go that high. Holy shit, man. Stop lying.
twice as strong as he was. That's common for a natural trainer who's been training his entire life, right?
On the squats, I mean, the first time we trained like
Yeah, he was on a very low deficit. He was on a very low deficit to stay ripped the whole time.
legs together, you had me doing a plate on
He was eating fucking carnivore diet, dude.
squats. And then by the end of it, I was doing 365 for sets of 12 to 15.
And so at first, on Smith machine squats, one plate on each side. By the end of it, 365. I mean, that's a typical transformation for a natural who's been training for 5 years, right?
Why isn't it? Why isn't it?
And so
He got better at lifting a weight concentrically, so what?
imagine presenting this to the world,
Oh,
not
brother.
talking about the use of performance-enhancing drugs, and using it as an ad to buy his programs. I mean, Mike Isreatel...
And why are you doing this, not wanting people to know that they could build sarcoplasmic and a bunch of stuff, whatever, so you could sell your Turkestron and GO2 Max and your cookbooks and shit and all that, and your training books?
I'm still waiting for that apology. Talking about Coach Greg, he has no ethics.
I swear to God, Greg Doucette, this piece of shit, advertises any of those powders in his books in this video, that's what the video was all about.
Whatsoever. On paper, all he cares about is money.
Greg Doucette is a person that explicitly on paper only wants to make as much money as possible.
Mike Isreatel is trying to convince you
That's right. He just wants to make massive amounts of money by selling his GO2 Max and crap and everything.
that Tristyn Lee used his programming and put on close to 40 pounds of muscle while being 100% natural.
He didn't put on 40 pounds of muscle. You admitted he put on glycogen. Shut up.
And so who needs to apologize after all? Who do you think has more morals and integrity? Coach Greg, who Mike Isreatel says is a so...
It ain't Greg Doucette, because he'll do anything to fucking scam you with his stupid powders and tablets and everything. Make you believe that you could never build a muscle. So you need to rely on his cookbooks and his fucking stupid training circle books and his shitty powders and fucking Turkesterone and GO2 Max.
Sociopath.
Greg Doucette, who is a two-faced, lying sociopath sucker. If I see him in real life,
I believe that when Mike Isreatel says that, that's the truth, man, about Greg Doucette. That's what he's become. Even that black guy has dumped him as like their friendship and everything. They talked about this shit.
I might take something from him medical science can't give him back.
Or Mike Isreatel, who says, well, he wants to beat up dogs with his bare hands.
I'll read a comment on social media directed at me, I guess about me. It's from nameless, faceless profile. And I begin to fantasize about what it would be like and how much sublime pleasure I would receive in hurting that person.
Did you ever have thoughts of it's programmed to do 125 on incline dumbbell, and you're like, is this really a good
Greg really is milking this.
idea or not?
And so imagine Mike's asking him, hey, you ever think
Yeah.
I shouldn't be lifting these kinds of weights? The progress, it's so unreal that it can't be safe for me. The reason he's asking that is when you use performance-enhancing drugs, you're more likely to get injured. Have you not seen the Trent twins, for example, tearing your pec? You're hopped up on androgens, anabolic.
Yeah, it's because they're weak, because they never built any muscle. They simply blew up the sarcoplasm. That's why they tore their pec muscles, because the weight is heavy and they didn't build any muscle to compensate. So when it went down, it fucking tore it right off the bone. That happens to a lot of people. When they don't build muscles, they build these sarcoplasmic muscles with eating donuts.
Steroids and so on, and your tendons and ligaments, they're not as strong.
Greg, can you explain to us how donuts build muscles? How do they build muscles? Is it the steroid has magic powers or what? They eat donuts. I thought protein builds muscles. So how those guys, they eat garbage. They eat fucking donuts all day. So how do they build muscles out of donuts, Greg? You must know something we don't know.
As your muscles, and so it's very dangerous. And so he's asking me, were you not...
Yes, it's very dangerous to build these muscles out of donuts. They make you super strong, these donuts, yes.
Scared to be that strong.
So I'm like, my technique is pretty.
Is he scared to be that strong? He's not strong because he's small. He's small, therefore he's not strong. He is good at lifting some of these weights, but he's not strong. He's not strong.
Good here, so I think I'm okay to go. But because it was such drastic jumps, I was like, is this right?
Drastic jumps every session, getting...
In this world, bigger is stronger. A bigger tree is smaller than a smaller tree. When it falls on the big tree falls on that little tree, it's dead. Get it? Because bigger is stronger. Everything bigger. Bigger planets are stronger. Bigger people are stronger. Bigger animals, bigger elephants are stronger than other animals. Bigger cars, bigger trucks, bigger buildings. Everything bigger is stronger. I don't know what the fuck Greg is talking about.
Stronger. I mean, just think of it. Let it sit.
An ant can lift 10 times its body weight, right? But when I come around, I step on that ant. So who's stronger? The ant or me? Because I'm bigger.
In your brain.
I was
A little
putting
bit of a
the
different
app, and
person.
it was like giving me suggested reps at the start. By the end, it was pretty spot on. But at the start, I was like beating it by 3 reps. Yeah, it was crazy.
And so the suggested reps in the app saying, based on this, the performance metrics and so on, you should be able to get this many reps. Every time beating it by 3 reps. Is that what you expect? You go to the gym and you're thinking, last day I did 10. Hopefully today I get 11. You get 13.
Okay.
Does that sound like normal, natural progression to you?
Alrighty, so it took you 30 weeks to go through this process, and you gained something like over 30 pounds, 35 pounds of body weight.
Remember, and this is in 30 weeks. I need to highlight that also the first 8 of those weeks, he was losing weight. And so really, the reality is, it was a 22-week bulk where he initially was losing size. He was getting smaller. Losing size. He was getting smaller.
So if you're getting smaller, that means you're not on steroids, because steroids make you get bigger.
Suddenly, though, at week 8, everything changed. Do you not
You added more carbohydrates, okay.
think maybe he started HRT? We'll call it HRT. Peptides. Let's call it something.
See, he's selling you Turk Max. I told you. This is to make you believe that everybody's doing steroids out there. There's no such thing as sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Your muscles can't blow up from the sarcoplasm. So you need his turkesterone. Get it? You have to rely on Greg's book and circle books and his drugs and his products and whatever.
I mean, frankly, I was hoping it was Turk Max, but
See, I told you, this is all fake marketing. He wants to convince you that you'll never build a muscle, not even by glycogen loading, and you have to buy his turkesterone. Yes.
in reality, I don't claim that Turk Max is going to help you put on 30 pounds of...
This is just as bad as the 5x5 program. We'll never put a muscle on your body doing 5x5 concentrically and adapted. Never.
muscle in a matter of months. But when I say, hey guys, I put 4 pounds of muscle in a month, or I put 6 or 8 pounds in 3 months, there's no way it could have done that. Impossible. But yet Tristyn Lee can put on 35 pounds in a matter of months. And so let that sink in a little bit. Remember, Mike Isreatel, you said that I was a snake oil salesman, yet we've proven that I am not. We've proven the other companies are selling fake Ajuga Turkestatica.
The Turk Max has Ajuga Turkestanica in it, and this is the data showing that it matches. Then it gets interesting when we look at the competitor samples. So these are commercially available products, and this is compared to the Turk Builder that we've already talked about. It matches. We believe it really is Ajuga Turkestanica.
Makes me shit my pants. Thank you, Greg.
And so, Mike, who is actually the snake oil salesman now? The guy trying to promote programs where you're on steroids to make those gains? Or the
brother.
guy that says he
Oh, brother, man. He's going to... so you can sell your product, dude.
put on some extra muscle from taking his turkesterone from a
There you go. It's a turkesterone ad by gregdoucette. He wants to sell you his fake products.
proven source. Code Greg, 15% off. And by the way, mine has a money-back guarantee and a $20 gift card. And at HLT Supplements, we have free...
You know what you should do? Buy a bunch of them and then just dump all the tablets and then send the bottles back empty and get your money back. Tell him it didn't work.
and training programs for you. Are his programs free?
A lot of clients in the past would have GI issues with like Gatorade intra-workout. So he asked me about cluster dextrin, and I was like, we can give it a try.
And so, unlike Mike Isreatel, he didn't do the Gatorade. That would make him shit his...
Gatorade. Makes me shit my pants. Thank you, Greg.
He was using branched-chain cluster dextrin.
So we did a mini cut after the 30 weeks.
How long was it and how much weight did you lose?
I believe I lost 12 pounds.
And so after gaining all of that muscle, mostly muscle, he did a 3-week mini cut.
That ain't muscle, man. Come on.
Mini cut is when you go in a slight deficit. Let's call it 500 calories a day, not something huge. And you cut off a little bit of body fat. And so how much weight did he lose in the first 3 weeks? 12 pounds. And so what does that tell you? Subliminally, if you read between the lines, that's when he went off cycle.
Thank you, Greg.
All good things, they come to an end. You go on steroids, you gain a ton of muscle. Let's call it 35 pounds in 30 weeks, of which it's really in 22 weeks. And then what happens when you go off cycle and you do a little mini cut? He dropped 12 pounds, and what is that mostly?
I don't know what
It's
happened.
mostly water weight. And why? Well, because steroids called you to hold a lot of water.
How was the cut?
Easy, a lot easier than I expected to be. Like the weight was just falling off, and
much do you weigh now?
153, 154.
And so his current weight right now, after then doing a 12-week serious cut, it's 153 pounds. And so he's down 18 pounds. Remember, he's at 6% body fat. They were thinking of doing a bodybuilding competition, but decided against it. But his starting weight, 137 pounds. And so no matter how you look at it, he's significantly bigger than he once was.
You're done dieting, or this is your last
Almost
week?
done, yeah.
Almost done.
Now, many of you are fans of bulking cutting. I'm saying it's been vaulted. You don't need to bulk and cut. Tristyn Lee is currently at 6%. How many of you think he needs to keep cutting in order for a bulking cut to work? Bulking and cutting is for people who eat too much. Perhaps if he'd gone to
Christ, does he ever stop, man, Greg? He's so annoying.
18% body fat, he'd need to cut back down. But he's literally saying he's going from 9% to 6 and then going back up to 9. You don't need to do that. You stay at 9. Stay at 10. Go up to 12.
Why is he so annoying, man? Christ.
And then from there, we take, 16 to 20 weeks, probably about as high as I push the high volume training before doing either a mini cut. We'll see where your body fat.
Look how small he looks here, Tristyn Lee. He's so small, bro. He's so tiny.
That is, I assume he's going to get to 180-ish.
And so what is the plan? Well, once this cut stops, remember, he's not doing a show. He's at 6% body fat. He's still cutting. He's going to then go on a bulk. He's going to now go up to 180 pounds. He's 153.
He already had very low body weight. He's bulking, so it's glycogen. He's just eating clean carbs. I don't know. As far as I know, it's complex. I'm pretty sure that's what he's eating.
Does anyone think he needs to gain 27 pounds in a shorter bulk this time? Perhaps
Look how
12
small he looks there. He's standing there talking to him. He doesn't look massive at all. The fuck?
weeks? Does anyone think he's going to do it while being natural?
And this is probably as lean as I would ever get somebody who's not going to actually do the thing.
Maybe a little leaner.
Yeah, right. It really is. So like getting it back up to the 8, 9, 10%.
And so notice, he's going to go on a
Look
bulk,
how
get up
small
to
he
8,
is.
9, maybe 10.
Look how small Tristyn Lee is, bro. And he's Greg is trying to convince you he's on steroids. Oh my God. Yeah, he's on boatloads of steroids, dude. Look at him. He's got fucking 25-inch arms and shoulders the size of your head and yeah.
So he's going to go up 4% body fat, but his weight's going to go up 27 pounds. And so how many of you think that that's a realistic goal for somebody who's already in his 20s, somebody who's been training for 7 years?
What made you go with Jared?
After I trained with you, I knew that I kind of wanted to work with RP in some way. Jared,
Look how big Tristyn Lee is. Massive, bro. He's massive on steroids. Look at him. Look at him with his 10-inch arms. Massive steroids, bro. Look at that chest. It's fucking huge, out of this world. Look at that neck, bro. Those shoulders, those forearms. Oh, bro, they're massive steroids. Yeah, Greg. Lots of steroids there. Sure, yeah.
was one of the first people that I saw.
Guess what? If he's on steroids, I'm the president of the United States.
Is what he looked like when he was natural.
And so Tristyn Lee decided to go with Jarrett because he used to have a great physique when he was natural. And so is it possible that he said, wow, he had a great physique when he's natural, now he's no longer natural, and so I can do the same thing. Tristyn Lee has a great physique natural, and perhaps he wanted to learn from somebody who'd been through the exact same experiences he has.
How did you guys keep track of training stats?
Yeah, you were just releasing the app, and you got me on it pretty much right away. Initially, we just tracked just through myself, through my notes and stuff.
And so here comes the advertisement. Now, you all think that Coach Greg's the only one that advertises. This is 100% an ad for the RP app for the coaching and so on. Nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that, does anyone believe that this was done while being natural?
Would you recommend the app to other?
What do you think? Look at Tristyn Lee. Does he look like he's on massive piles of juice? Like massive. Look at him. He's a massive bodybuilder. He's fucking massive, bro.
For folks that really like to have everything
You have to be mentally ill to believe that this kid is on any kind of juice, man. That's just ridiculous.
organized.
And so would you recommend the app? No ad whatsoever.
We've heard a few people say like, oh, I didn't think I could get 15 reps. The app said do 15. That's exactly how many reps I got. So.
Absolutely.
And so if you want to also make an amazing transformation,
Even his voice sounds normal. On steroids, his voice would be a lot deeper. It would be different. And he would probably have some skin issues, which he has no skin issues. His voice is the same. Sounds normal. Looks pretty normal. He looks very simple to me. I don't know.
like this, be sure to pick up the Renaissance Gyrodization program faster than last time. You know, the one where you use gear in secret to make all the gains.
I love it, dude. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on your new look.
Thank you.
You legit look like a different person.
You legit look like a completely different person. Thank you, Renaissance
Yeah, but carbs, man, it's just fake.
Gyrodization. The place where you can make amazing games while on gear in secret.
You look ridiculously drug-free, except I'm a drug test them triceps, motherfucker.
He looks ridiculously small is what he looks, man.
I don't know what the hell's going on with him. The rest of you looks awesome, but
And so Mike says, I've been around pharmacology a long time and you look ridiculously natural, except for that.
Thank you, Greg.
Does anyone believe that? Does anyone buy that? Is he perhaps a little bit biased? Mike, if I present to you a guy that Coach Greg trained, and I said, hey, I've been training this guy. He's been training for 6 years, and he's put on 25 pounds in 6 years of training. He then hired me and started using my cookbook, used my Turk Max, and put on 35 pounds in about a couple of months. What would you say to that, Mike? What would you say, Mike? You'd be saying, snake oil salesman trying to make it look like his testosterone added all that muscle. It's snake oil. It doesn't do anything. When Mike knows I have the real thing. Other companies don't, but I do. Does 35 pounds actually seem realistic? Does it seem even somewhat plausible whatsoever? But yet Mike, with a straight face, says, you're 100% natural, except maybe those triceps.
I am a fucking joke.
You got your fans. I don't have 12 Lamborghinis like you do.
that's true. We did technically it's 13 now, but
And so Mike has now gone from 12 to 13 Lamborghinis. He's almost as rich as Coach Greg. And so what am I to say to this? If you believe this bullshit, then you believe this bullshit. And if you're watching this video right now, you're probably watching this video right now. And you probably selected to watch this video because you selected to watch this. If you're going to write in the comment section, which somebody always does, oh, I don't like your channel. I stopped watching you years ago. You literally watched my video and commented. How did you stop watching me years ago if you're watching me right now? Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Don't forget, you can actually take Turk
There you go. Turkesh on his books.
Max and admit it to everyone. You can say, hey guys, I'm on Turk Max and I made this significant change in my physique.
Told you, it's to sell powders and things. I'll see you in the next one. Touch, think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Ciao.